pros and cons of putting LLC in a trust or not, taking profit, borrowing, etc. So it would depend on the kind of trust that you were moving the LLC into. So a revocable trust, highly recommend. You're going to get probate protection on that side of things. If you were to use an assignment to move the LLC's equity into your revocable living trust, you could do that at the state level. You can also set up a revocable living trust in Wyoming for some additional benefits. We can do both of those. You can be all three things on a revocable living trust. You can be the grantor, you can be the beneficiary, and you can be the trustee. It doesn't provide any creditor protection. It doesn't have its own EIN. It is a pass-through entity. It is just for probate protection. Now, the creditor protection you're going to get from the LLC anyway. So combining the two works pretty good. An irrevocable trust, that's a little bit different story. You would be the grantor on an irrevocable trust. And this could be any type of irrevocable trust. It could be a spendthrift trust, a dynasty trust. There's a bunch of different provisions out there that you can put into that type of trust to be able to affect what you're trying to accomplish depending on your circumstances. I would highly recommend working with a very good estate planner or tax attorney to be able to structure that the right way and have them licensed in whatever jurisdiction you're filing that in. We have a couple people in Wyoming we can refer you to, or you can work with us to do it. Now, the irrevocable trust, again, you can only be the grantor. So you're not going to get benefit of those assets. You're going to set up your kids or other people as beneficiaries. You're going to designate somebody else a trust protector. So they're going to be able to make changes to that trust separate of you. You want to make sure that you trust that because they're going to be your trustee they're going to be a trust protector, and they're going to be able to change stuff in your trust. So make sure it's a close family friend. Ideally, they have some legal knowledge, but they don't have to know everything. The other person that you're going to set up for that is a distribution trustee. So the only way that anybody's going to be able to get anything out of the trust is they're going to have to get the distribution trustee in to sign off on it, basically. So if you want to take anything out or do anything with it or borrow against it or whatever, they're going to be like, hey, is this to pay off creditors? If the answer is yes, you're not getting it. That's the whole benefit. You get very strong creditor protection with an irrevocable trust in certain states. So South Dakota, Wyoming, Nevada, those are the three jurisdictions locally to the U.S. And then obviously, there's some offshore stuff as well that provides a lot of robust creditor protection. It takes about 2 years to season that in. You want to get that going sooner than later if you anticipate using that. I would be moving stuff that's legacy XRP or digital assets into an irrevocable trust once you're over $500,000 to $1 million in current value. The other portion you're probably going to keep in the LLC that's owned by your revocable trust so that you have full access to it and you can borrow against it, take profits, do all the other stuff that might make sense depending on, again, your goals and objectives. And ideally, you're working with a financial advisor on that side to make sure that that's done in the most efficient manner to mitigate taxes and reach your long-term goals.